It's time for more Theros Chaos, our mythic Odyssey of Theros campaign. We found yourselves in the Phoberos deserts. And what sort of adventures and tricky situations did you find yourself in last week?
Mass suggestion is pretty good against crabs.
Turns out mass suggestion is really good against crabs. I had actually forgotten that was how you controlled the crabs, but yes.
They walked right into the granny bag.
You dealt with what was left of the bone crabs, because you managed to convince most of them to walk themselves into the granny bag, and what was left you threw rocks at a distance and made them explode and sneezed directly into the microphone. It's the sand in the air, it's getting stuck in your nose, it's understandable. And what were the crabs doing in the desert? What did you find?
They were eating Mr. Guy Man.
They were eating Guy Man and their horse, Mare.
Because we found them with their pet rock named Stone.
You found a granite orb, a perfectly spherical stone inlaid with the primordial word for stone. Which, yes, I believe you found their pet rock that they had named Stone. Nothing more to it, just it was a rock named Stone. I'm sure there's nothing else about it. And then, after giggling away at this new companion of yours, you carried on further into the desert and found yourself in a sticky situation. What did you find on your road?
A very large sand pit that Scuts wanted to ride her cauldron down.
You did some sand sledding in your cauldron right into the jaws of a pit worm, a huge bug that was lying at the bottom of the pit, waiting for passing travellers to just fall into its mouth. And it proceeded to eat the cauldron. And you decided to just completely annihilate it. As you absolutely just took that poor worm apart. With some quite clutch ideas and gameplay in Bennett using Bane, Nadrin using Enlarge on both Sogeg and Scuds to stop them being able to be swallowed whole. It was pretty impressive, including the fact that you managed to actually, instead of just killing the worm, you managed to put it into the granny bag. And considering how big and how strong that worm was, that was not an easy feat.
Took a lot of teamwork and a really, really big Scuts.
Really big Scuds, a lot of teamwork, all of your abilities, and some very lucky rolls as well, as it was not easy to do. But you managed to stuff the giant worm into the bag, hopefully never to be seen again unless you decide to pull it out in the middle of a closed space.
Yep. Definitely no small chance of that happening at all. It's fine. Good.
And after that, as well as graffitiing some mountains that you called Mountain in the Sky to call out the local griffins, you proceeded along the wagon trails towards a small encampment at the base of a strange stone obelisk that seems to be covered in a language you can't fully understand up until the point where it gets to about human head height where it seems to have been sanded down and then had words in common engraved onto it. And that's where we'll pick up as you start to arrive into this camp. You can see a handful of Crowan hoplites in their full panoply armour. Some just standing around keeping guard, others hauling crates and loading some of the wagons that have been going back and forth. Oh, and Bennett casts Seeming. Was it just on Sogeg or was it on everybody?
I did cast it on everyone, and they can choose how they want to look.
Then we'll start with that. That Seeming essentially works like Disguise Self, only it can target multiple creatures and doesn't require concentration and lasts for 8 hours. Holy shit, I didn't realise how strong that spell was. So yes, I'll let you decide on how you would like your disguise to look. It can't change the number of limbs you have, or how tall or short you are, other than to a foot difference. So it won't be able to make a size large creature medium or anything like that. But it can at least change how you look, how your clothes look, and so on.
Ogeg's gonna just see the fringe grow rapidly across his eye and a gigantic handlebar mustache just pop up as Jim is reborn.
Are you changing what your armor looks like?
It's still gonna look like a child made the disguise. It's my legs, my scuttlers will turn into centaur hooves, but they look like there's a weird seam like down the middle of each of them.
Yeah, you can't
My
reduce the
armor
number of
will look-
legs you have. So you basically have...
You can still look like a scorpion lamia. No, we turned you into a spider lamia, I think.
Yes.
That's what we were gonna do
Oh,
anyway.
then just my legs get a bit hairy.
So you can look kind of spidery.
I'm not changing my armor, but I will make it slightly duller. Lose its sheen.
So it'll still look like Aquateria armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old.
Okay. Zolk, how do you want your appearance to change?
I'll have a Jawa cloak. I'm good.
You're just going full Jawa?
Yeah.
That is understandable. We all know Zolk grew up watching Star Wars by literally looking up at the sky and watching the gods in the stars try and kill each other. So, now, Drin, what do you want your disguise to look like?
I'm pretty happy with just how I look normally. Make myself seem slightly taller. Just like a little bit taller.
Do you want Bennett to... So, Nadrin will be playing Bennett today as his play is going to be missing. Would you want Bennett to change his appearance?
The Bennett... I think he's decently suited for how he looks.
He's
Does anyone have
pretty
any
stealthy.
suggestions of what they think Bennett should do?
Maybe sunglasses.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Maybe make his sunglasses slightly bigger.
Yeah, okay. His sunglasses get a little bit bigger.
The full Elton John star shades going. And Scuds, how would you like your appearance to change?
Scuts is going to look around and try to get inspired by the landscape, and you see her just turn multiple shades of beige.
So still looking like a uniboard, just sandy coloured.
Yep. She's got A little bit of eggshell, a little bit of taupe, some beige. Yeah, you just the closer you look, the more tones of bland beige there are.
Okay. Are you changing Neil, Mr. Burbles, or Pogeg at all?
Pogek will just be green. Just turn into an actual goblin.
That's fair. I mean, he is a goblin, but okay.
Mr. Burbles will see that Scuts has changed colors, and he'll look at Neil, and he'll mimic Neil's colors. So he's a blue burb now. Blue fire.
That's kind of what I was gonna do with Neil.
May as well, yeah. We've now have
Neil's
Swap.
Neil's gonna turn more colours like Mr. Burbles.
so we have a reddish gold Neil and a blue Burbles and a green Pogeg. All right. So freshly disguised, completely unrecognizably. How would you like to approach this encampment on the in the middle of the desert?
Well, Scott sees horses, so she'll start walking towards them to pet them.
That is fair. Are you just marching straight up to them in your new sandy colours?
Yes.
Okay.
I see no reason why she would not.
Uh,
She's not like running up to them, not startling them, but
Go ahead and make an animal handling check for me.
oh god. Oh, hey there, little fellas. She reaches out to pet them.
They don't duck away from your pets, but they don't seem to acknowledge them either. They are quite heavily bridled up and attached to this wagon. They seem like very well trained workhorses more than anything else. Although at your approach, one of the Acroan's shifting boxes turns. Hey! Adventurers like you need to leave the work alone. If you're injured, go to the Curse Mother. If you're here on business, go to one of the hunters. Don't mess with official Crowan business. And then goes back to
I'm not
packing
messing with the horse, I'm just petting him. She'll go stand by Sogeg now that she's been shouted at for touching things.
Which guard was it who shouted that?
It would be this one.
I impale him. No, I don't really. I'll just like wave to him. I'm gonna kind of like try and make it very obvious that I've got old Crowan armor on. So like I'll take off my helmet very noticeably, and behold my grand moustache. I just say, hail friend. We are not just adventurers. We are here on an important quest. Can I speak to you for a minute?
You've got some nerve coming in stolen armour, but if you've been hired by the Tradai, then they've been vetted in some way or another. Fine moustache, though.
Great. I'm almost getting angry, but as soon as he sort of compliments my moustache, I calm down. But I do I not brandish, but I sort of like rustle my great Zeiston. I'll sort of in gritted teeth to say, it's not stolen armor, but it is much more worn than yours. I have been sent on a mighty quest by my noble master, the great 12th of his name, beloved by all, the best boss I've ever had, Sogeg, greatest of the crown princes.
Make a deception check.
Did I say I was twirling my moustache with great gusto? I don't know why I have bless on. I do not have bless.
There's something shifty about that story. Why the hell would an Arachne have a crow in armour? None of you lot are in our militaries. And how dare you
Spider
bring
web.
up the
Ooh.
dead prince's name? As he spits on the ground.
You just, Sogeg, just looking to Pogo and just says, watch this. As I'll just like crumple to a knee, a shaky arm, and just say, dead? No. I cannot explain my meaning here. It would take too long. You must explain to me quickly. How did beloved son Sogeg die? I'm sad.
The divinatory. Keep it close to the chest. All we know is that he died. A noble warrior in the name of Iris, in the heart of battle, like any true crow would. And he salutes just to the sky.
I Pogus salute. Praise be the great ones in the sky. At least he died a good and glory death. Wink, wink. Tell me, new friend, new best pal, lover of Sogeg as much as me. This puts a wrench in this works. I fear I must find the temple of the cultists, for that is what I was sent to do. Do you have any information on them?
That's above my pay grade. I'm just here to keep order and move the Troidoi's investigations to a safer site. Go and talk to the Hunters if they've seen any of these cults you're on about.
Thanks, me old chum. And just tell me, friend, for I'm still quite shocked by the news. But if you had to rank the 13 brothers of the Acroan royalty, which would you say was your favourite? Would it be Sogeg? As I say that, I definitely pull out my Zyson that I hope he realises is like twice the size of him. And I will slightly glow red.
Sogeg was at least the most martial of the spoiled lot, but not the best with the men. I think his older brother would have been a better next king, but it depends on who won the contest.
Just going to make a intelligence check real quick. Okay, cool. Sogeg just heard his name and he just tears up. His ears ring. They love me. They really love me. As I barge past this soldier, I will just pass him a Sogeg signed javelin and just say, "Noble warrior, it's what he would have wanted. He gave me this when I left on my quest, but I think you loved him more. Here you go."
Is this real? This isn't a fake?
Check the signature. No mere peasant could scrawl such a mighty signature. That is an authentic Sogeg.
And quickly.
I really hope he doesn't realise it's blessed by Mogis or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's just a javelin.
Rolling for me.
Oh, I want to murder these guys so bad. God, I hope everyone appreciates my greatness.
Oh, sorry, I'll just roll it this way. If it'll even roll on that, okay.
Tell me, warrior, why are you rolling dice in the sand? It's not how you do it.
Roll20 just decided that he doesn't like rolling dice.
This is how you roll a dice, and I pull out a d20 in front of the guard as I roll a critical. Oh, I kick it and make it a 20. Behold!
quickly reopen that. There we go. See if it'll let me roll this
Sergei's
time.
just going to awkwardly sidestep past this guard as he
It
seems to
will
be
let me roll this
glitching.
time. Okay, fantastic. I'll take the first one because I rolled a natural 20 on roll 20 even working for me. Or rolled a natural 1 on roll 20 even working for me. He sort of goes a bit flushed in the cheeks as he clutches the javelin closer. Although you're not entirely sure whether it's in awe of it being Sogeg's or the fact that he doesn't really know how to read and write and therefore can't tell whether or not it's a fake.
He's been duped. He's lucky that I also don't know how to read or write or hear. Otherwise, mentioning Sergei's brother would have been a big no-no. Is it obvious which way the hunter is? The hunters are.
So, from what you can see, this tent here seems to be the only one that has guards around it and is likely of whoever's in charge here. You can hear moaning and sort of cries of pain coming from this tent. You can hear sort of wet, meaty sounds coming from this one, and a rhythmic sort of ringing sound, like metal on metal, from this one.
Well, I don't know about anyone else, but I can't quite, deny my love of the sounds of pain and glory. I just sort of forget what I was doing and wander towards the blood tent.
As you push open the cloth door of this tent, you are greeted with the sight of numerous, various races. A few humans, a couple of orcs, hobgoblins, normal goblins, in various states of distress. Some are completely unconscious on simple cuts. Some have quite serious injuries. The majority look gaunt and almost withered, and sort of poring over them and trying to heal them, for want of a better term, is a serpentine lamia.
I sort of slightly nod towards the blood matron and just say, "These warriors, they look like they fought well."
If you need healing, there's a first aid station over there. If it's grievous wounds, take a seat and I'll get to you when I get to you.
I look at her sad and just say, "Unfortunately, I have not been greatly maimed yet. Tell me, which one here is in the most need of help? I am a cleric myself of sorts. Who was the most fighteriest of all these fellas? Most deserving of the gifts of the gods?"
As she mixes a handful of ingredients together and starts applying a salve to one of the wounded warriors. These are all these hired mercenaries that go out into Phoberos and come back with these horrible, cursed injuries. Some I can treat, but those that have been there long, there's nothing I can do. I'm trying desperately to find out what on earth happened. That one in the corner, he was the one that was out there the longest, as she sort of gestures towards an orc who looks like they could be over 100 years old, sort of just withered, wrinkled, gasping for breath, but completely unconscious.
Particularly scarred?
Make a medicine check.
Cool war story scars. Might have made it best friend. Oh dear.
You can't see any scars immediately, but that's most likely because he's covered in bandages.
Oh, I just walk over, sort of mumbling slightly, just saying, these are no horrendous. These are not a curse. These are boons. This orc looks to be. Well, I'm going to look at him a bit up closer now. You say he looks old. Does his? I'm going to pick up one of his limp hands. I guess I'm just looking for calluses. Does he look like he's sort of Is he a big fighter man? Fighter orc.
His skin definitely seems worn. He's definitely experienced a lot, but they definitely don't match the age that you can see on them.
Oh. Well, I'm going to place my pocket's pogeg on his chest. As I will just say to the Blood Matron, my techniques are strange perhaps to you, but behold the will of the gods, as I will put my hands in the shape of the triangle of Pogus, as I will just look the guy straight in the eyes and slightly grow red, as I'm going to lay on hands. And I'm going to try and lay on hands first 5 to remove a disease. Then I'm going to just flat out give him 25 points of healing. So 30 lay on hands in total.
The first 5, as you try to remove a disease,
Double check actually. Sorry,
it doesn't seem to make a difference to his condition.
Disease or poison? Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's still not.
No poison either. And as you pour the healing into him, you can tell that some of his outer wounds are starting to close, but he still looks withered and haggard and remains unconscious.
Sergei just gets slightly angry. I'm going to be bold and looking out the tent to the party as we my baddie just goes wrong, but I'm just going to say to the Blood Matron, I'm just going to say, you speak nothing of this. This warrior, I can sense, has blood to spill still. So I'm going to raise my pogeg in the air with his great boot stiffened as I call upon the gods of Mogus. I'm going to spend 5 piety to remove the curse with violence out of this orc, or I'm going to attempt to anyway.
Okay.
So I want to invoke, just to almost to in fury, almost burn the curse away. I want this orc to bleed.
As you slam Pogeg's mighty boots into his chest, his wrinkled skin seems to inflate. His pale skin becoming flushed as blood begins to return to his body. He's still unconscious, but no longer gasping for breath. It's more now he just looks like he just needs to rest for as long as possible before he can fully recover, but you do seem to have lifted whatever was afflicting him, at least for the most part, at least for the current symptoms.
Does the serpent look particularly impressed with me kicking the crap out of this orc?
She immediately stops what she's doing and rushes over to try and investigate what happened. Not so much judging you on your methods of healing, but more what change in the orc's condition.
I'm going to look to the serpent. Oh, sorry, is you about to...
Just that he puts a hand over his head. It seems you have managed to restore what was taken from him by this accursed desert, but How? What? Did you manage to remove the curse itself, or simply restore his stolen moisture?
Stashing my pocket Sogeg away, I just look her dead in the eye and just say, the gods are powerful, and the gods will be redeemed. Can you make me a promise, matron? And this is of utmost secrecy. I believe something in this sands is the secret to the murder. The murder of beloved Crown Prince Sogeg, 12th of his name. This orc, I'm sure, knows nothing of it, but his word is important to me. Can you make sure that he heals?
On hearing Sogeg's dead, Scuts just like stops eavesdropping and she like barges into the tent. Where's Sogeg? Oh, she looks at him. I heard Sogeg was dead. And she just like looks at you, and you see the gears turn, and she looks at your floof over your one eye. She's like, "Ah, Jim, have you seen Sogeg anywhere?" And she just runs back out of the tent.
Jim Egg is not stupid enough to not have been convinced by that, at least. Definitely, there's a bit of a tear in one eye, as Jim Egg has also only just learned that Sogeg has died. It's terrible news.
Sogeg was the best. Everybody like sees Scuts out in the sand trying to draw out like some schematics for like a funeral. Like, how do you fit so many legs? I'm gonna have to send some of them to Granny just because there's too many to put in one box. Granny would like one of Sogeg's legs. Nadrin. Scuts will look up at her. How many of Sogeg's legs do you think I should send to Granny?
How many do you think you can fit in?
Probably all of them. Does he need any in the underworld?
All 2 of the legs, as Sogeg will put, Jim Egg will put his head out. As the cogs suddenly turn in his head, and he's just like, "Oh shit, yeah. Granny would love all two of his legs. They were great legs." I'm winking so hard that I'm just flat out blinking at this point. I'm blinking hard at everyone.
Jim, I don't know what you're talking about. His legs are kind of scrawny. Maybe we should send 4. And then she settles on this number and she stands up. Hey, Nadrin, it sounded like Sogeg made everybody moist, and it helped. Do you think you can summon some water to help everybody in the tent? Even though I'm pretty sure you just punched the guy instead, but she was eavesdropping. She didn't see what happened.
Behold the healing boot of Pogeg.
Do you think we should ask Jim about this?
I feel like I'm very good at hearing my name and hearing an ode, a eulogy to Sogeg, putting my head out the tent. I just say, Nadrin, my healing works are good, but your water might be better. There's a bunch of people in here and they look really, really gaunt. They need their water.
I'll go into the tent.
Nadrin, not quite as good a healer as me, but she's all right. She's all right. She doesn't have a boot made of brass, you see. That's the secret to good healing.
I'm just gonna turn to the snake lamia.
Yeah, it's a Serpentine Lamia here.
I can't heal, But I can offer you some fresh, clean water.
If you're able to restock our clean water supply, make sure it's clean and pure, that would be very helpful in the recovery of these wounded souls.
Yeah. Where is your
Gestures to a few clay pots that are about just a few inches at the bottom, filled with like a muddy, sandy water. It's very clearly not clean.
Let's check what it was that gives me that. I think it's Seaborn, isn't it? Yeah. I'm gonna. Is there any way to clean the
I mean,
pots?
you can clean them manually if you want to. Just dump them out, give them a quick rinse, and there you go.
I mean, I can just create as much water as I want. So.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cleaning like muggles.
The point is more that they've been having to make do with tainted water, so having fresh, clean, pure water is going to make a huge difference.
Yeah. I will just go over and just cast create water.
If
For all of
only there
these.
was someone in the party that had a spell that could clean things, not
If
just
only.
make things chocolate flavoured.
Oh.
That day.
Hey, you know what would be great? Scuds makes the water chocolate.
God damn it! Yeah, okay. That's fair. You fill up a few clay pots with clean, crystal clear, chocolate flavoured water.
Yep.
News.
The Serpentine Lamia seems just in awe of the generosity, although can't really express it too much. She's also desperately trying to heal and look after the injured here. So the injured that you can see, some have what you would typically expect of battle injuries, bite marks, slash marks, that kind of thing. But a solid half of them have the sort of various stages of this gauntness, this sort of withering or almost aging.
Guts looks around at all of them.
It's good. You'd roughly be able to tell that those furthest along in this sort of wrinkling seem to be very excessively dehydrated.
I think these guys just stayed out in the sun too long. They're like little raisins. That's what Granny calls flies that die, and then she leaves them in the sun, and then they stay in these little juicy things, and they pop in your mouth, and you'll have to try them. Oh, Frankos would love it.
Marcus
But,
won't
like,
serve flies.
Scuts is gonna take a pot of water and pour it on one of the one of the driest looking ones.
You're just going to waterboard an unconscious man.
Not on his face.
Okay. it doesn't seem to do a great deal. It doesn't seem to make them look any more hydrated, just wet.
Well, Scott's furrows her brow. It doesn't grow like the plants that she took care of at Granny's, and so if that doesn't make him watered, she doesn't know how to water people, and she's gonna go sit in the corner and drink some of the chocolate flavored water. How did these guys get so dry? She looks at the Lamia.
Everyone here has crossed the boundary into Phoberos itself. And these are just those that have been able to make it back with or without their injuries. Those that stay beyond the boundaries longer tend to end up more dehydrated, more exhausted. Until they wither away entirely. It is lucky they managed to make it to us before they perished.
It doesn't sound like we want to go there, does it?
Sounds awesome.
Why do we go somewhere really, really wet and now we go somewhere really, really dry? I should have brought more seawater.
I mean, you did fill the granny bag with a lot of seawater when you were down there. As you kept opening the bag underwater.
Oh, yeah.
So there is a not insignificant chance of you pulling seawater out of the bag.
Maybe if we go out to where everybody's getting really dry, we can dig a really big hole and I'll fill it through with all the seawater I sent to Granny. And we can even, like, put one of the slugs in there. She just thinks this is the best idea and absolutely how to fix whatever this dry desert problem is. It definitely doesn't have anything. I want it, like, out of character. I feel like this is where we would be plugging at. Is this, like, something to do with the undead lead that Bennett was picking up? Because these guys are, like, looking pretty dead. But I feel like Skuts is just too dumb.
I think that something's been stealing their blood. I think we might have a case of vampires. Sand vampires.
Yes, vampires are very well known to be desert dwelling. They love the sun.
Ah, but it's a new breed. It's the Sandpires.
Okay, would you like a because you've got all the information, I believe, already. It's just whether you remember it. So I can give a DM hint if you'd like.
Oh gods, give us your hint.
Sogeg, do you remember the story of Ishak the Mighty?
Oh yeah. Oops.
Do you remember what happened to him?
Yeah, he got cursed by basically, all is good. All is good in Phoberos. We're gonna have to deal with it. Yes. As Sogeg pulls out his notes, he ruffles through all of his little things. As he goes, doopa doopa doo. Thassa! That's the one. Oh, Nadrin, you're gonna love it.
What do we need to get Thassa? Skuts, like, holds up the little Nautilus thing.
Oh, I mean, it's more that it might have been Thassa's fault, not to be mean. But she made Ishak not cool. Ishak was really cool before.
I mean, I can read the quote from. I think everyone should have access to it. But I can read the quote from it, which essentially was, the gods would eventually win the war, and punishment against Ishak and Phoberos was swift and devastating. First, Thassa drained the moisture from Phoberos, changing the lush floodland into harsh wasteland. Heliod's glare scorched the surface, drowning the parched city in sand, And in one final punishment, Atheros refused the soul's return to the underworld, binding them to the endless dunes.
When I threw Pogeg at the poor orc, did it feel? Did I get a godly like reverberation? Basically, when the curse was lifted off the orc, did it feel just like a curse, or did I feel like an angering of the pantheon, perhaps?
Give
Would I be able to
me
tell?
a religion check.
My God, I'm religious. Day.
What I'll say is, you don't think the curse has been lifted from him. You think you've essentially reduced some of his symptoms. You've managed to restore the blood to his body, but he has still had most of the moisture within his body removed.
Ah.
So you've basically rehydrated him on the inside a bit, but the curse is still there.
Mummy. Interesting. Well, I'm just gonna, Scorpion Lamia. Keep this on the hush hush. Give word for me when you see him regain consciousness. You can get me by
With
calling
luck,
for
you
Soap
won't end up
Jim-Egg.
in this tent as one of my patients.
I really wish I could. I wish I'd get maimed and have the blood taken out of my body.
I mean, you currently don't have any blood in your body because of your cursed epithet.
Exactly. I'm jelly, genuinely jelly. I feel their pain. I literally feel their pain. We are the same, us and them, only that they are feeble and I am strong. Jim-Egg, away! Before Jim-Egg away, actually, I'll quickly ask her. Do you know where the hunters are?
Two other tents. You've got the monster hunter and the treasure hunter. Groz tends to like his meat. Myrmicus, he's the one that knows the best raiding sites. And if you've got any treasures, bring them to the Third Eye. He's the guy in charge. He'll pay you for what you find.
I'll relay this. I'll do a big thumbs up to Zolk. There be booty to be found. We're gonna be rich. I'll just skip out the tent.
Anyone else want to investigate the injured within the medical tent?
Can I try to tell what kind of scratches and bites it looks like they have from my adventures through the wilderness, petting very many wild animals?
Make either a nature or survival check. You can see bite marks clearly from fanged jaws, but as well the telltale signs of claw slash marks and broken bones, and essentially this how you typically imagine creatures end up after being hit by the granny stick. But they, for the most part, they seem. There's not a great deal of weaponry damage that you can see.
Skuts is gonna look to Zolk and Sogeg. I definitely saw fang marks, so we might be looking at some sandpires, you guys.
Sandpires.
Sandpires.
I saw fang marks. This confirms it. They would be the only thing strong enough to crush them.
This is going to be
like
a
they've been
trolls
hit
under
with
the bridge
granny
situation.
Hit with a granny stick.
If we keep saying their name, they'll become true.
Oh, no.
Sandpires will show up.
Sampire. Are there any mirrors nearby? I'm looking at the sheen of my helmet.
You cannot see any mirrors nearby.
Oh.
What if we prestige Sogeg's helmet to be shiny enough?
Sure. Oh no, wait. Sogek has the mirror shield. You've got the mirror there. There you go.
Oh yeah. I've never looked at the other side of the mirror. Held it. I looked to the other side and I'll say, Sandpires. No, I can't do it. I'm too scared.
Scuts is gonna grab it. Just be like, Sandpires. Stick it back on his head. I don't know what we're doing, but that was a fun game.
You feel the sand beneath you begin to shake and quake, almost starting to be whipped up by the wind, and then fall and settle.
That was fun.
We've done nothing
That was
wrong.
another one of those ants.
Hide under the sand for a bit. Spook.
Okay, note to self, add Sandpires to the game.
No. What have we done?
What? Where do we find this place?
I have a feeling we've got to ask Grunt, the Beast Master, the hunter of hunty people.
So I will just remove the outside of the. So you've got Groz, the hunter that has where you were hearing the wet sounds coming from, clearly sort of dividing up some beasts. There's Myrmicus, the hunter that is more of the treasure hunter more than anything else. And then you've got the Tradai, basically the guy in charge of this whole operation.
I'm feeling about Groz. Anyone else wants to? Sogeg will slow walk towards this tent, whilst the rest of the party does their business. Still slightly spooked about our summoning.
Guts likes very large things, so she will walk up to the very large tent.
Fair enough. Outside
it's logic.
are two Crow and Hoplites just standing guard.
She just kind of like quietly
Okay.
walks up, completely beige. I feel like would they try to stop her?
They spot you and are very clearly keeping a close eye on you, but they don't stop you.
Okay. Then Scuts will continue to walk inside to see what's in here.
Inside, you can see a plethora of strange trinkets and treasures, all being fussed over by a slim-built hobgoblin, filling out scrolls and muttering to himself.
As the flap of the tent kind of closes behind her, she'll walk up to him and point at the sarcophagus and just be like, hello, good day. How much is this?
You're a stealthy one. Who gave you permission to come into my tent and disturb my research? How very dare you accusing trying to buy these priceless artifacts?
Oh, but I want to give it to my granny because I love her so much. And I'm
Well,
sending her gifts on my travels.
no one's grandmother is worth the price of the priceless history of this place, the relative interest and unknown nature of these strange and weird peoples that might be able to benefit. Definitely Akros, and not just myself. Yes, I am doing all of this for the glory of Akros and for knowledge. Yes.
No one cares about Agros. Just, what is this? Tell me more about the. She points over at the other tower on the opposite side of the room from the sarcophagus.
Oh, you have interest in these artifacts of ancient cultures. Yes, well, this was something that was returned to me once by the adventurers I hired to send out into the desert to go and return these priceless objects to their rightful owners. Yes, that's what they're doing. And this seems to be some effigy of one of their strange and twisted gods. It seems to have been like made of part, or maybe even been a creature created by them and ceremonially wrapped in these bandages and placed on an altar. It's just, oh, what could they have been thinking?
Scuts would try to tell if she can see what they were thinking. If I were trying to wrap something, sometimes Granny makes stuff, and when you put a lot of time and work and effort into something, you just want to keep it safe. I want to see what's inside.
Make a history check.
Know anything?
As you look at this giant creature wrapped in these bandages, the only part of it poking through is the tip of its snout, and long fangs sort of interlocking at the very top, and a shiver goes down your spine as you think, holy shit, that's one of them there sandpires.
Sir, I'm gonna need to unwrap this.
You will do no such thing.
No, she just puts her little paw over his mouth. Sir, there is trouble afoot, and there are sandpires. And people are dying. We need to find out that this here is a sandpire. We need clues to fight them.
How dare you put your hand over my mouth?
She'll let his mouth go. We need you can help us save the town from the sandpires.
I will not have this insolence from just these hired adventurers. If you bring yourself some more of these precious artifacts, then maybe you can help me investigate them, but for now you will not touch the precious merchandise, not until I can truly understand and unravel its mysteries by remaining wrapped.
I need this unwrapped so bad. Look, you want some cool stuff? I've got some cool stuff we can trade.
I am not interested in trading in your petty trinkets. I only want stuff that comes from the great ancient city of Phoberos. So go out there and fetch me some of that sandy treasure.
What? But this is a sandpire. She shoves the small statue and the pouch of flesh back in her shirt. Dejected once again that nobody wants her gifts from Granny. And she's gonna go up to Sogeg and give him a big nudge. And she's gonna huddle next to Zulk. You guys, I think I found one of the sandpires.
I'm gonna like shuffle slightly and sink into the sand, hide behind my great shield.
Went in that tent, and I think I saw one, and they're really big, and they have fangs. But he won't let me unwrap it.
Did you tell him that we have to? The sandpires?
He doesn't care about saving the world or being a hero. He just wants shiny trinkets from out there. So, Zolk, you're gonna have to, like...
Don't judge him. This is pretty good, like, priorities, I gotta be honest.
Zolk, I need you to find the shiniest thing out in the desert so we can find out what the sandpires look like.
The shiniest thing. Like,
You say.
Scuts thinks of the time that there was the bone whelk, and we stuck a satyr to it. Man, I really wish I had a bone whelk in my granny bag.
You gave that bone whelk a better life.
She's
It has a
married
husband.
now.
They have little bone whelk children together. It's fine. The bugbear thinks it's a hot elf wife. Fine.
Oh.
I have a feeling that if we go to Groz will know a way to get some booty.
Yeah, that's what we need. We have to go get booty.
Yar!
Yar!
We pirates adventuring.
Okay.
We're gonna be sand pirates, and we're gonna go after the sandpire.
This is the thing. What kills a sandpire? A hearty doubloon and a pirate. So we have to become pirates.
Well, because what else? Like, they must be like anti-vampires, because if they're out in the sun, or are they out at the night in the desert? Are they out during the day? Maybe nighttime's their weakness.
Sogeg is just furiously shaking his head up and down. Salt, you got to save us. You got the helm of intellect on.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Stop this madness. Or is Sulk also nodding along?
I'm nodding along, yeah. Going with this.
Okay.
Oh, I love that we're going to derail our world saving for Senpai.
I love how we were just on the open ocean, and then now that we are in a desert, we're like, let's be pirates.
Yeah. Now it's time to be pirates.
That's great. Let's do it. Scuts is gonna like rip off a part of her loincloth and like tie it around her head like a pirate headband. And now she wants those. Oh, she has a sword. Yeah, she's got her urchin rapier sword guy.
It's
So,
on the tip of your granny stick, so...
yeah. She feels like a pirate now. Arr!
Okay.
I'm going to burst into Groz's tent. Groz! Groz! No time to explain. We must get treasures from Phoberos, and we must find the secret of the Sandpires. We were told that you'd know the way.
I just cut up the meats they bring back. There's some mighty fine grub out there. Gotta be tough to survive the shit that goes on.
I'm listening.
Although they always tend to come out super skinny and like deformed. But they'll be nice and hearty if you eat them the right way. Almost like pre-dried meats.
I just salivate. You are talking my language.
Just head on past the obelisk and just wander around a bit. I'm sure they'll come to you.
I bow graciously.
If you're looking for treasure, t'other one, Mercus, he's got your maps to their latest dig site.
Sprint. Oh. Mercus! Treasure! Sand vampires!
Sand vampires? I haven't heard anything about sand vampires. I simply have been mapping out the area, this cartography kit of mine being put to use. Although the desert sands are constantly moving, it's a little bit difficult to keep it perfectly in line. But if you follow along and keep the sun overhead, you'll eventually come to a small bit of ruins that we have been excavating. Although you may struggle to find some decent treasure there, as it's already been picked fairly clean. Although that desert has an endless bounty of them, it seems that the more into the sand we dig, the more we uncover. Ah, it is truly a delight.
Suddenly clicks in my head. The cultists must be behind the sand vampires. So I'm going to look to him and say, do you know where to find the coat of the scorpion?
Where have you heard such terrible, terrible rumours? Yes, there's some brigands and nasty folk out there that avoid going into the underground ruins at night to put it as simply as possible. They tend to have their weird little rituals and worship of, I don't know what god they're going for, probably Phaenax, knowing them. But they seem harmless enough. I wouldn't really call them a cult of any, like, scorpions or anything. We'd be more worried of the actual scorpions. Oh.
I join you in a laugh. That's a good one.
But if you do
Wow.
find some good treasure hunting spots, do tell me about them. I do like sending you strong and strapping adventurers out there to go and dig up those sands and unearth those riches. The Trado may be a bit of a difficult to deal with, but his pockets are deep.
No doubt.
As long as they're deep enough to fit a rat.
He looks at you fairly confused. I don't think you quite understood my metaphor, darling. I mean, he's very wealthy. Seems
Gus
to
is
have
just
almost the
literally-
entire banks within Akros on his side to uncover whatever secrets he's promised them.
Scuts is now just thinking of taking Zulk by the tail and dipping him in a pocket full of treasure and pulling him back out. And she's just nodding very vigorously, like, yes. Taking
Definitely
notes.
listening. Wow. Vague directions. Follow the sun. I'm convinced.
Scuts will look up into the sky at the sun. Then she's gonna look back down at the ground. His advice is dumb.
I'm going to pull Pocket Pogeg out my pocket, hold him to the sky, and await him to blast a mighty toot from his horn.
If
Not the actual
only
horn of
someone had
Captain Red.
sunglasses, then they'd be able to stare at the sun.
I'm going to run over. I'm going to pick up Bennett. I'm going to, like, angle Bennett, like, tilt him to the side so I can look through his sunglasses.
Didn't Scots have some of his sunglasses?
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
do.
because he's got endless
my
sunglasses.
God.
Every time he
Yeah.
takes off a pair, there's another pair there.
Yeah.
Should we all just take some sunglasses? I'll see if
Yeah,
it works.
that's fair.
just
I'll
take-
allow everyone just to take a pair of sunglasses off Bennett.
Bennett, you're the most useful party member so far this session. Bless you. I'll put that in my inventory. Bennett
Definitely the one
glasses.
showing the most intelligence at the moment.
With the sunglasses on, I'm going to attempt to stare directly at the sun again.
Okay.
Does it work?
I mean, it's still very bright. It's not gonna, like, immediately burn your retinas, but if you keep staring, it will do.
I'll give up staring at the sun directly. You win this round, Heliod. But not for long.
You almost think the sun is flipping you off somehow.
Fuck you! I've got my Taunter of the Skies. Does that work on the sun?
The sun technically has a flying speed, so okay.
I'm just going to shout obscenities at the...
Get Zolk to skywrite, but write it backwards so that the sun can read it
Wait.
properly.
I also have... We can all skywrite. I think we literally all got skywrite. We all just simultaneously...
On the sun. All right.
I feel like making an enemy the sun's not going to hurt us. It's going to be fine.
We
Turn
are
into the desert.
great at picking enemies.
Really are.
Well, should we just aimlessly walk into the desert, not prepared?
Unless there's
Sounds
other
like a
stuff
plan.
you want to do in this little base camp. Other stuff to investigate.
I don't want to murder all these Acronians, but I'm not allowed to.
They've got
We
treasure
could wait.
and you only have a lot of treasure, so...
Wait till we come back with our bigger treasure.
I want to know what's in the sandpire.
So, is that everything? If no one wants to interact with anyone else, we're going to move on.
I'm gonna ask around for like people who have got like if they have like another source of water.
The only source of water that you can see in this camp is the small natural pool to the side of the Trados tent, which has as many guards around it as the main tent, and they will not let you approach.
Do they have any like another like storage place for water?
From what you can see, the only things that they have are the pots within the healer's tent. Most people are expected to bring and deal with their own water, and it seems that the Acroans have staked a claim to what little of this little oasis is left.
Well, if they're not gonna let me go to the water source, I'm just gonna create some water on the floor and leave.
Just pee on the floor and walk away. Power move. Okay. Where would you like to leave the puddle?
Out here and then leave. It's
Find
like
a puddle.
you're not gonna let me help you with more water, so here's some useless water and leave.
Okay, it's their own fault. Find some useless water. Hold on.
And we're gonna make it taste like chocolate because we have to.
Okay, nice puddle of useless water.
I really want to start using prestidigitation to use other stuff, but I feel like at this point, Scott's just thinks it has one use.
It's the chocolate spell.
That's why you don't give barbarians spells. What do you do with prestidigitation? Make everything taste like chocolate.
Completely reasonable thing to do.
Well, you can make it
Yeah.
taste like absolutely anything as well. Not
No.
just chocolate.
No, only chocolate.
Only chocolate.
I have it as well, but I can't top what's been done already.
Well, someone can actually use
Well,
the real
if
spell
you
then.
make something taste like chocolate that already tastes like chocolate, do you just turn it into dark chocolate?
I guess, because it's a higher concentration of...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why aren't you overriding the taste with just the same taste?
Oh, you're stacking tastes.
I guess,
Ah.
no, it wouldn't. Well, because it doesn't stack on any other taste. So it would just make... You could take really great chocolate, and it could just taste like Scuts's... What Scuts
Well, yeah,
thinks chocolate
because the
tastes like
stuff that you
chocolate.
make chocolate flavored doesn't replace the flavors it already has. It just adds chocolate flavor to
Oh,
it.
does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then yeah, it's just extra chocolatey.
The chocolate beef jerky is beef jerky flavor and chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes it any better.
It doesn't. In fact, that's why it's been so gross.
I
I'm
did
gonna
kind of
We're
assume
gonna
that
make it
it's
IRL, it's gonna taste
stacked.
good. Alright.
Asking
Does
the
any of us-
important questions.
Does any of us actually understand? Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
Carl.
no. How does the flavor stack for precedent?
Yeah.
Very important.
It's one way to work out the mechanics of a game, right? Do any of us understand what way to go towards the to follow the direction of the sun? I mean, it seems pretty basic, but
They essentially
Scuts is
said,
pretty dumb.
go past
We're
the
just
obelisk
going-
and keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, essentially.
Because I feel like that's pretty straightforward. I just stared into the sun already, so.
To adventure.
Onwards!
So
Mr. Burbles will burble on merrily.
no other investigating, no other questions, just going straight on.
Scuts will look around one last time before we leave camp in case she sees any signs of Guy, his horse mare, and the adventures
Oh, no,
of the
they-
Pet Rock as she
yeah.
holds the stone out in her hand looking around.
You left their bodies back with the... Well, there's no crabs left there, but whatever next carrion thing came and finished them off.
Yeah, she's just trying to imagine if they came here, what would she have? Would she see any tracks or anything that they would have left behind if they came through? Not that they'd
Make
be
a
here.
perception check.
She's trying to piece together where they came from. There we go.
Looking around, you can't see any tracks that would match the footprints of Guy Man or the horse mare. But you can see that the obelisk that Sogeg stands upon, that when you were size enormous before you arrived at the camp, had a strange, like, red shiny thing on top of it, is made of the same type of stone.
Whoa! So gig! I think
No.
that's Stone's dad! She holds up the orb and points to the tip.
They must be reunited.
They look the same. And she's gonna go over and she's gonna set the stone at the base. As she looks around, does she see any other, like, writing on the obelisk?
So, all along the front face of the obelisk is writing in a language you can't fully understand. You can see that there's some kind of It's almost like primordial, a very ancient dialect of primordial, but so old that you can't fully make out what it's saying. Up until it gets to pretty much directly in front of your face, where the stone seems to have been essentially sanded down and in much more haphazard carving in common reads adventurers only beyond this point, dangers ahead, and then a list of names.
Do I recognize any of them? Well, no, I guess she wouldn't, but she'll read through the names.
There's
Briefly.
probably about 20 or so names. They just sound like generic. You can't really place if any of them come from a particular area. So there are a few that sound clearly from Akros, a few that may even be Cetetan or from Miletus, a few Triton names, that kind of thing. It very much seems like names from all over.
She'll look at Sogeg and point at it. Hey, Jim, you like writing your name on stuff?
No doubt, no doubt.
You want there's names here. I feel like you need to put yours here.
You speak wise truths. I'll pull out my Zeist and I'll start etching my name.
Okay. What name are you etching?
Sogeg. It is going to be Sogeg.
Okay.
I'm going to put Sogeg, but with like a love heart behind it. Because rip Sogeg.
But you would also notice that the main signage, the adventure is only beyond this point, dangers ahead, is big and in essentially bold, and the names are all written in fairly different handwriting. None of them seem particularly the same, or like the same person carved them. The obelisk itself is probably about 20 feet high, and as I said, its skirts was size way bigger than 20 feet. You saw like a reddish glint at the very tip of it.
Guys, what if I touch the rock to the tip?
It's got to be done. Do it.
She'll step back and she'll go into a rage so she can become a size larger as she'll start jumping to see if she can reach the top. But let's see what the
Fast fall.
what oh, must have clicked myself. There we go.
Get true sight, of course you do. Right.
No.
Would you be able to see anything? True sight just see through illusions, or does it actually let you see onto?
Hey, Nadrin, can you make me a size bigger?
You
As
want
I
to be
imagine.
bigger?
You see her holding the orb outstretched up as high as she can reach, trying to get to the point of the obelisk on her little tippy hooves.
Okay, with your illusion piercing rage, beyond the obelisk, everything just seems grey and much more ominous, to put it as simply as possible. And everywhere else seems just fairly normal. There's something hanging over the area, almost a few steps after the edge of the where the obelisk ends, and just extending out towards the horizon.
Okay, so as she turns her head back away from Nadrin, she'll look back towards Sogeg again, and she'll stop jumping. And you can see her body language go from like exuberant, happy scuts to like everything just drops. And she's gonna go, hey guys, remember when I went through the portal after Bennett? Well, over there looks kind of a lot like there. It's all gray and sad. And she looks a little unnerved, remembering the freaky woe striders she had to run from. And then she's gonna go back to trying to reach.
So, are you reaching at size large, or are you making yourself any bigger?
I will. Oh yeah, I can use. I'll use the charge from the Kraken.
Let me just remember.
Or is it once per day? I gotta double check that one. That's new.
Your divine epithet. It's just a bonus action while you're raging. So you
Okay,
can use
and
a
yeah,
bonus
we're not in a
action
combat, so yeah.
to make yourself another size bigger, and without much of an effort, you can reach the top.
She's gonna try to place the orb on the top, or set it, or touch it against it, and just tongue out, face full of
So-
concentration, see if anything happens.
You touch the rock name stone against the tip of this obelisk, and you can hear a clinking sound, but nothing else really happens.
This is probably the worst thing I can do, but sure. While we're this large, she's gonna see if she can try to pry the small piece of matching material from the top of the obelisk.
Yeah, you grab onto it, and it comes up immediately, like it was set in something rather than secured into anything. It was almost like resting in something on top of there.
Oh, Sogeg, look! Nadrin! Look what I
As
found!
You pull out a small triangular fire opal, a like luminous red opal that seems to sort of flicker as the light passes through it. And in the same way as your new pet rock has its name, the way that the this opal is cut seems to be in a very simplistic or older version of the word for fire in Primordial.
Oh, this is awesome! She'll go ahead and shrink back down to normal size, and then wave Zulk over.
Zolt's currently
right there when he's not.
Yeah.
When he's back.
he's currently occupying the puddle that Natrin filled.
She's gonna just sit there and she'll show it to Sogeg. Sogeg, look!
So you've
I
got
found-
stone rock and hot rock.
It's like stone but pointier.
God.
It does actually come to 3 sharp points in this triangular shape.
I'm gonna poke it.
I mean, you poke it. Are you poking it on the point?
Yeah.
It doesn't draw blood unless you really hit it, but it's definitely sharp.
That's a sharp rock.
Right?
It's also quite warm to the touch. Kind of hard to tell with how hot, considering you are in a desert, but it is like definitely warm to the touch.
I do have one question before we head out of a town. Do we want to see about taking a rest here? Because Zolk and I both are down vehicles that we need a long rest to resummon.
I was gonna suggest that.
That's
well.
probably reasonable.
As the stone was taken as well, does the greyness feel like it's somehow being over here? Do we feel colder?
I'll say while Scuzz was still in the last bits of her rage, no, it seems to stop essentially right where the obelisk touches.
That's good to know. Sleep time. Oh. I am gonna actually. I don't know why I'm running away. I'm just burying myself here. Ah,
Do you have a way to take any shelter? It is still the desert. It's not exactly the most
put
comfortable
Hogeg
place.
on top of my head. Oh, you ready for this? Actually, I've got the best shelter. Oh my god, this is genius.
If
This is
only
actually
you
genius.
had a way to make a shelter.
Are you ready for this? Sogeg buries himself up. It's just his head out the sand. As I unfortunately have to use 3 Waskell points for this, but it's worth it.
Either
As
piety or
I'm-
story.
3 story to cast Leonun's tiny hut,
Yeah.
which can't fit my body,
But
but
it'll
instead
fit
I've
your
got the
head
on my
as you
head.
hide underneath it. Yeah.
So there's just a hut on top of my head. Big brain.
There you go.
was
So
worth
there's
3
enough
story
space for everyone aside from Mr. Bubbles.
You have to huddle around my head in the
You
center.
all huddle around Sogeg. Well, be Sogeg Mr. Burbles' head if you want to bury Mr. Burbles as well and just have his head poking up as well.
Oh, get in close, Mr. Burbles. I should have to
I
melt
see.
my arm.
Well, he had his chinchilla bath in last week's session where he just rolled around in the sand for a bit. So
Can people like leave it and then come back in?
Yeah, it's just a house.
I think is it only Sogek that can't leave?
Creature and objects within the dome when you cast this spell can move through it freely. So long as you were inside it once it was cast, you can move in and out of it without issue. Otherwise, you can't go into it.
Okay.
Dome of Force. Behold.
What colour do you choose it to be?
Red.
Surprise.
Yeah, it's not very. No, it's going to be ashy. It's going to be. I choose it to be sand.
Ooh, camouflage.
Stealthy Sogeg.
So yes, that lasts for 8 hours, which is enough space to take a long rest. Hopefully everybody's got enough rations for the rest as well, as that's going to be fairly important as you travel through the desert.
Will be.
Ooh, is it going to affect Scott's ability to scavenge for additional rations? Or is there
at
desert
this
food?
point, no. It might do later.
We're in the literal dead zone.
Yeah, so where
Is
you,
it
I think you've
really
worked out
fun?
now that the where you are now is the normal Phoberos desert. Past the obelisk is where you enter the cursed desert, and that's where things are going to get a bit more intense.
Is it it's just 1 ration, is it, if we have Scott's ability?
Yes,
So
just one if you've got Scott's ability, which you would do at this point. So it's one ration for the long rest per creature.
She checks under some rocks and she finds some little bugs here
That'll
and
be it,
there,
yeah,
or
you're
maybe
finding bugs and
a cactus.
a couple spiders. Good protein.
Good protein. Ah, as you see a spider leg hanging out of her mouth as she crunches one down.
Also, you've got the Frankos pop still.
Oh, yeah. I'll feed that to Mr. Burbles.
Mr. Burbles needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
As he chomps and gnaws.
It pops in his mouth
Oh, he's
with
already-
gooey meat. And he chows down like just a dog chewing on any kind of food whatsoever, just loving it and doesn't care.
And I would like to note that I fed him some rancid Frankos meat for the record.
Yep, you did go out of your way to look after him.
Oh no, not just that. I thought he had different effects based on what we fed him.
Oh, do they?
Or did we not do that? Or was that something we were just
Oh,
spitballing about?
For
Oh,
his,
never
for
mind
his
then.
ability, right? Yes.
I don't think we did it. I think we were talking about it being an upgrade then. Never mind.
Okay. I'm glad you reminded me though. We'll get to that during the end of session wrap up.
Mr. Burbles just chomps it down happily. It crunches very nicely. He really does appreciate Frank Ross's cooking as well. It holds up to all of Scuts' stories about it. And she'll summon up her little cauldron. And I'm gonna double check if I want to give it anything other than the hover speed this time.
So this is time to take your rest, restore your hit points, any of your abilities. You can change your epithets around as well. And yeah, anything that you want to do during the long rest, so long as it's considered light activity, you're welcome to do.
Keep my epithets personally for now.
Neil is gonna go over to the little puddle I made and sit in that for a bit.
Yes, he may need it.
And then he's gonna come back into the hut when he feels comfortable
Nice and
enough
moist.
to.
Yeah.
He's just gonna leave a little trail leading from the puddle to the hut.
I'm actually just constantly in just all of this sand stuck to his body. Constantly sticky.
It's not the most pleasant.
It's not nice. But he doesn't mind. Doc, are you making your nightmare vehicle?
Yeah,
Is that the only thing you're doing during the long rest?
I think making the nightmare vehicle is the whole 8 hours.
That is true. It's whether you want to take any additional hours to do anything else. Depends on how much fuel for your nightmare vehicle you've got.
I've still got. Where is it? I've still got 3 of Sogeg's nightmares stored. I'm
That's
good.
fair. You don't need to steal any more. Just, I mean, you've got
Here we go.
other things to spend those nightmares on now. So,
That I do.
and that thing's pretty strong as well.
No, we need new nightmares. So I can't force disadvantage on anyone other than Sogeg. Because I need to collect something. But we're gonna go with Scuts.
Okay.
Bold.
Now, if I check my notes correctly, your nightmare will be entrapment via disco.
Ah! She just dreams about the never-ending breakdancing, and it just won't stop.
Make a wisdom saving throw, please, Scuds. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
You don't take any damage, and you are aware that Zolt gave you a nightmare.
Why?
she wakes up and she just chuckles to herself, and she just goes. I guess I don't know if she's sleeping, if she's making the hag vehicle.
So the the hag vehicle, it would take 8 hours to make any of the vehicles and these other ones, but it's sort of like intermittent during the long rest. So you basically work for a few hours, sleep for a few hours, then continue working on it.
Okay. So she'll wake up from her little nightmare and go back to working on her hag vehicle. As she'll as at this time on the new one, as it spins around on the outside, it's like different dance moves. So if you were to spin it, it would create the image of a dancing animation.
So are you changing any of its enhancements?
I am currently reading them, double checking.
Same for you, Zonk. Are you adding any of the Fueled by Nightmare stuff?
One moment while I remind myself what they were.
They require an extra charge to give, an extra nightmare charge to give, but they do add quite a bit. So
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it the hover speed still.
stick to the hover speed. That's fair.
Yep.
You don't want to summon 1d4 swarms of insects.
I was looking at it. I'll leave the swarms of things to Zulk, though.
Also, did you keep the opal that you took off the top?
Yeah, I was gonna give it to Zulk.
Okay, so you're giving the opal to Zolk.
Oh, this one says fire. Probably shouldn't, but, you know.
I'm gonna go with the vehicle's gonna regain 3d10 a night, just in case.
You don't need to use it. So that one's basically if it gets damaged, you can then repair it, essentially.
Oh, right.
So it's not like it just constantly gets the extra 3d10 hit points. It's more of a if it is damaged but isn't completely blown up, you can spend a charge and repair it 3d10 hit points and any mishaps on it.
Alright, we'll go with the psychic damage then.
Psychic damage from its slashing wheels. Slicing wheels. Same thing. When you run something over it, it goes for the brain instead of the body.
It's that mental damage.
I mean Zolt right in the back of the lawnmower is pretty, psychic damage.
You just got run over by a rat. What's not scarring about that?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Anyone else want to do anything during their long rest?
Sleep, because my 8 hours is important.
Yeah, get that beauty sleep in. Got to maintain the chin. It will end your seeming, though.
That's fine. That's not a problem.
So maybe a
gonna-
quick runaway before any of the guards spot you.
I'm just going to move under the sand.
He does not have a.
Just move very, very slowly.
Just have Zolk in front of you digging a path, because he does have a burrow speed.
Oh my god. We just avoid the... we avoid the, just relentless sun by burrowing a few feet under the surface and crawling through.
Go full
Zolk's
naked mole
tunnel.
rat time.
Yeah.
How loose is the sand basket beneath it?
You're not that far under it, so it does move when you're not like crushed under sand.
Out of interest, so is it morning now?
It would be morning by this point, yes.
I'm going to use my ring of jumping and just like see how far I move.
Uh,
Ring of jumping, go!
okay. How many charge? Does it have charges, or is it just triple your jump speed?
I just use. I just basically always jumping.
Okay.
Man.
Have you dispelled your Leatman's tiny hat?
I would do, yes.
Okay, and then you're just going to leap into everybody.
No, so it would be. I'm going to see. My head is still above ground. I'm going to try and like horizontally leap through the sand.
Oh, right, okay. He's just swimming through it that way. Okay.
Basically, it gives me a swim, almost sand swim speed, or if it's just too thick and.
Yeah, you'd get a good bit of distance, probably about 5 to 10 feet. Considering you're pushing through a solid material, well, sand, just by trying to jump through it, it's more than you'd do without the ring of jumping. I'll give it that.
5 feet is enough. This is my new mode of transport. It's going to be a head floating through the sand, very slow. Really seeming when you have my wit.
Okay, so
dickhead.
Anything else during your long rest before I move you on? Okay. I
guess we'd like droop Bennett's just make sure Bennett's clean, basically. Help him out. Give him a new pair of sunglasses. Oh dear.
That's the hag vehicle. That would be back to
They're
full.
so 3D. They're popping out.
And then nightmare vehicle.
The worst thing is I didn't swap in. I was so tempted to take my new epithet, the befriender of monsters. They're not monsters. That's not fair to say that, actually. These aren't monsters, they're people.
So, as you push past the boundary that the obelisk was marking, you can feel just the lethargy that it takes that overtakes you as you march on forward. Every step just seems that little bit harder than it should be. But you're strong, able-bodied adventurers. You don't care. As you push on forward without a care in the world and keep on pushing until you reach a small sort of dip in the dunes where the collapsed skeleton of a mighty creature is being picked apart by 3 giants. And they seem to just be pulling the bones and crunching down on them. 2 of them sort of scrapping over bits of the thigh bones. These seem odd for giants, mainly because they are exceptionally skinny.
Damn. Their workout regimen. They're looking good.
In fact, I can actually... He's very sort of slim. You can see the bones protruding through them, their skin hanging loose. They haven't noticed you approach. They are far too busy just trying desperately to just eat the inedible bones.
We just walk around them. They ain't hurting nobody.
I wonder if I have something for him to eat.
Zol?
No. She'll rifle around in her shirt. As she pulls out a javelin. She admires Sogig's signature as she stares off into the distance and sighs heavily and just says, I miss Sogig so much. And she just like puts the javelin back away.
He was the best of us.
I think she genuinely doesn't understand that Sogig and Jim are two different people, or are the same person.
I mean, he's no longer disguised as Jim. The seeming
I
spell
know.
ended.
He's wearing them sunglasses though.
Yes,
The
you
Jim
are all
curse-
still wearing the
the
sunglasses, though.
The seeming spell ended, but the Jim curse hasn't.
It's back.
The Jim curse is back. So, what would you like to do?
Maybe they're reasonable. Should we just say hello? Starving giants are usually really friendly.
I mean, Granny could probably fatten him up.
I have an out there idea if no one does anything.
So good. So big.
So, Geg, I'll just look to the party and just say, maybe we let fates decide as I begin to speak a word of power, because maybe one of the words is like food.
Okay.
Wait. We just said, oh, we've not got the epithet on. This would be a perfect time for us to have our good dude's epithet.
What, just summoning a bunch of ogres to fight the giant?
Magic Feast.
Oh, true.
Has it been a week?
We've got a thingy on at the moment, I believe.
No,
Gambling.
you've got Divine Gamblers on at the moment.
Yeah, but has it been a week? Because I think we said that we were going to change it back when it had been a week.
I don't think it has been a week. It's just shy of. I think after like the next long rest or the long rest after that, it'd be back.
I'm going to cast Words of Power.
Okay, go ahead and roll on Words of Power.
As I look to the beast and I just go, food. Oh dear.
A ray of impact.
That is not food.
It is not food.
Hey, maybe it's metaphorical, and the impact that they need right now is a snack in their
Yeah.
lives.
Unfortunately, I'd have to do a rolling. Oh, I missed, I think.
It would have missed, yeah.
Yay. Okay, we get a do-over.
So, give me a stealth check to see if. In fact, no, don't do that. I'm going to do a perception check off of them.
I would crit, by the way. I wouldn't have crit.
Okay, they didn't notice. They are too busy chowing down.
I just like pretend it didn't happen. Just go back to, oh, guys. I tried something. It did not work. I know that's surprising, but I might need a plan too. Now, hear me out. I have a rope trick. If we have some rope, I could rope trick it to look like food. Or Zolk could skywrite food. They're pretty tall, they could probably reach it.
I'm not sure I vibe with these plans.
Ask for a vibe check. I want a vibe check on that. Vibe roll.
Yeah, shall we change insight to vibe check? Just give us a vibe check.
Oh,
Can I vibe check this room, please?
are we going to have to kill the emaciated big ogre people? I feel kind of bad.
I did just make a psychic vehicle. So I'm not
Does Zolk
opposed to it.
Does Zolk look particularly blood hungry right now?
A wee bit, yeah.
I'll pick Zolk up in his psychic vehicle. I'll pop him down in front of me. I'll just whisper, do what you believe. Zolk looks too cool with his sunglasses. made.
I'll just do it again. Where did
It
that come?
blows up. Poke's going to shoot one of them.
I was just going to shoot.
Alright.
You're going to start it.
In preparation, I was gonna say Scuts will get a couple of rocks and imbue them with magic stone.
Okay.
Poke would wait for just like a really silent moment. Everyone concentrate very hard, and so Poke's just going to you just hear a clunk and a twink as he just shoots his crossbow.
We're going for the short bow, not for the Ethitonis on your back.
So Poke forgot.
Fair.
Poke was sat in the Ethitonis seat, and then shot the short bow.
Well, he shot, and you can see the arrow hit the skin of this emaciated giant and penetrate fairly deep as it lets out a bit of a yelp. I need everyone to please roll initiative, as the giants now are aware that there's actual food nearby.
Why does this feel so wrong? I feel really bad killing these guys. This doesn't feel right. We might be the evil guys.
Could you remind me where I got polymorph from? Trying to see if I'm allowed to cast it on other things.
I do not have the Shaper of Flesh invocation. Oh no, you're an artificer now, so no, you don't. Unless you took it as a feat, the Eldritch Adept feat.
Oh, yeah, Sculptor of Flesh.
There you go. And yes, you can cast it on other people.
Okay. That can't go badly.
Okay, is that everyone on? I don't think we've got Nadrin on there.
Click myself.
Oh no. Yeah,
I got
it's-
17, so it's 19, 19. Oh. I clicked me. Apparently I didn't click me, but I did.
And you got a 19, did you say?
Wait, I've got
Oh,
17,
no,
19,
that's-
19.
So the I think one of them will have been for Bennett. The 19 will have been for Bennett. This
Yeah, I rolled me first, which was the 17.
the 17.
And then it was Neil, which was the 19, and then the second 19 was Bennett.
Okay, so you'd be on 17.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know why it didn't
Well,
register.
first up in the order, after hearing the starting whistle of Poke's arrow, is Mr. Burbles.
Gosh, it's so weird. Sogig swears he just hears him say, like, for Pogus as he's
Wait,
running out.
Scott, so you on the 8 for initiative, or are you on the... Let's see which one's yours. Yeah, you'd be on the 8 for initiative.
Yeah.
Because you rolled it
Too bad
twice. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I have advantage on
Yes.
initiative. Yes.
But for some reason
Unfortunately,
it kept
I...
the 3, so there we go.
Yeah. I didn't roll the high roll for myself. Mr. Burple's
Yeah,
got
Mr.
it.
Burbles got it.
He is just too good. One second. Get any further? No. Okay, so he'll run. Can only move 40 feet. No. All right. Boop. He'll run out to here. And he will. Last time he did this, it was very upsetting to see everybody get hurt. So he's run far enough away from everybody before he starts a burbling, and he will use his exhaust fumes.
How big of a range is exhaust fumes?
A 20-foot sphere.
Okay.
Neil
Let's see.
might need to hold his breath. I'm not
Yes.
sure.
Uh,
I feel like everybody knows at this point what.
that should look about right.
There we go. There we go.
I will move it to the back though, so Miss Bill's at the top of it, so we can actually see him there.
For 30 seconds. So that's. It'll hang there for a minute, right?
Yes.
In combat. Okay. So he will not ignite it this turn. And he can't go anywhere else, so he's just gonna sit there.
Roll a
And
d6,
hold his
see if
breath.
it recharges.
Okay.
It does not.
Does not.
Okay, Bennett.
Bennett is gonna go to behind this rock. And let me open that. Steady aim.
He can't do that, he's moved.
Ah, right, yes. Okay, he's gonna shoot with his bow.
He does get sneak attack on it because he's an assassin.
Yeah, he's gonna go for this one, and that's sneak attack is there. Right, okay.
Not an advantage.
I
So,
had advantage
yeah,
clicked
so
from
that is a
last
miss.
session.
That is
And then
a
he is going
typical Bennett shot.
He is going to hide behind his rock.
Okay.
Because he's got
Make a stealth check.
the unseen. And try to hide lightly obscured.
Yes.
And it's a stealth check. Come on, Bennett. You have to do this. You've got such a massive bonus.
Oh yeah, there's his crit.
He's
Oh
gone.
my god.
God damn it.
He is gone.
Right, so
Nope,
the scouting
everyone else
trap-
can't see him. Yeah. He just crouches and just disappears. Okay. Neil.
Well, Neil's gonna go over to there. And he is going to attempt to guiding spittle
Ooh,
on this one.
okay.
One on the end. When I can find his character sheet under all these tabs.
That is a hit. And they're not underwater, so it's not going to immediately wash off. Has been spittled.
And that's going to be all from Neil.
Okay. Does he get his spit back?
We rolled to see if he gets his thing back. No, he doesn't.
Okay. Pogeg. Third of his name.
I really want to shoot the javelin of lightning, but
You can
But it
shoot the
doesn't-
javelin of lightning out of the Ethiturnus if you want to.
could, but I'd also hit all of my friends, my battle buddies, which I won't, as Pogeg will just stand on Sogeg's shoulders and let out a battle screech. Aye! As I'm going to use my helpful action. As Sogeg is going to just keep screeching until Sogeg hits the big dude.
Okay.
That is so okay.
That's only a bonus action to do.
It is. I guess yeah. Might as well shoot my short bow as well. Why not? Patink.
Okay, that misses.
See, that's why I didn't do it. All right. To make you look stupid, didn't you? Thanks.
Nadrin.
Where's Guts? Ah, she's over
over
there.
If only you'd remembered the ability you spent nearly 100 story points to give her.
Oh fucking!
Oh,
Literally just... Oh my god.
Yeah, I will do that.
Yes.
I will use my bonus action to give Skuts the bonus action.
That's not how. So
Nope.
you gave it that if
How
she
was it?
takes damage, she can use a reaction to rage.
Ah, right.
Because the idea was you were going to just plink her with something very light and then let it go into a rage early, and then you'd be able to do
Okay.
a lift up.
Do I have anything? I am going to... Eldritch Blast. One at Skuts.
yeah.
And one at this guy.
Okay. So do the one at the Scots first.
Yeah,
Does a 20 hit?
Yeah.
I believe so. You take 1 force damage.
Nice.
Okay. And I'm going to use my reaction to then go into a rage.
Okay.
She just like gets boinked in the side of the head and grumbles as she just gets a size larger.
Go ahead and roll on the scary table.
A strong
Okay.
wind blasts out from you. Each creature within 10 feet of you must succeed on a...
Oh no. Oh,
So
no.
that is Pogeg and
Whee!
Sogeg.
Oh
Need to
no.
make strength saving throws.
Oh, Sergei's alright. I have a horrible. Oh
come
no.
on, Pogeg.
Pogeg ain't gonna be helping much.
Come on, Pogeg.
Okay. So what extra damage do you get on your rage?
I think it's 2.
Is it 2? So it gets pushed 20 feet directly away from you and falls prone.
You just hear
Right
this
into-
like Doppler effect. You just hear it like go slightly low pitch.
Do you hear a little bong as he bounces off the cauldron when he stops?
You hear sort of a satisfying thud and like almost like a sort of sinking plop as his boots just sink into the sand.
Anything else, Nedrin?
Well, my other
The
Eldritch
second
Blast going into
one
this
hits,
one.
yes.
And, can you still do the thing that makes you even bigger, even if you're bigger than your regular rage? Does that make any sense?
No. Give me another attempt to describe that. So she's got her divine epithet that when she's raging, she can use a bonus action to go bigger, and anything she grapples is also restrained.
Does she have to be a certain size to be able to do that, like the
She
rage?
just has to be
or-
raging.
Great, okay. I am gonna quicken spell, twin spell,
Okay.
enlarge, Sogeg, and Skuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am big now.
We also have an update to Hype Woman, so you get bonuses from this as well now.
I do.
And changes as well, didn't you?
I did pin it in our chart, yeah. Same with Skuts.
damages do 2d10 extra. 10-foot move speed extra.
I think it's only one d10 extra of the.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
The only difference is more now that Nadrin, while concentrating on enlarge, has advantage on concentration check saving throws, and anyone that tries to target Nadrin with an attack or an ability must make a wisdom saving throw, or instead change their target to a creature that's been enlarged.
Nice. Helps greatly because I was going to have to jump to get in, but I can sort of walk there.
So, is that everything, Nadrin?
Yep.
Okay, it is the first of the giant's turn, and bellowing with desperate hunger, it is just going to leap over the dragon bones and dive towards Mr. Burbles. I don't need to. Okay, so it is going to. First attack is a crit, because of course it is. So that is 16, 24, 39 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
And then it gets to hit again. A 19 to hit. Doing 16 more. And then a 22 to hit, doing 17.
Oh my gosh.
These things are...
Shit.
So they... Yeah, you'll work out what's the deal with these are as you go forward. But yeah, you got to look. So that's 39 points of bludgeoning damage, 16 points, and then 17 points.
Yeah, man.
It's a good thing Mr. Bobs is a tank.
He's fine.
Okay, have you got all that?
Yeah, I'm getting it. Hold on.
While you're doing that, we'll move on to Sogeg.
I put away my ring of jumping, so I feel the loss of my my advantage Pogeg. I fly into my own fit of rage.
Does he need to be within
Big
5 feet of you to
Sogeg.
give that advantage? Yeah, he does.
Oh, he doesn't anymore, I believe. I'm pretty sure he has to be near the creature I'm attacking.
I see.
But I will go into my rage and run forward. As I run, call upon the blinding smite.
Wait, you're actually going to use a blinding smite
I am.
to not just make yourself go red?
I'm a new man. New Sogeg, new me.
Oh my god.
Is Sogeg so angry that I'm not just red, I'm actually going to do something with this attack. How dare I do something useful? But Pogis will surely be angry at me. Is this a humanoid?
It is not.
Oh my god! I swear, I've had an additional attack about half a year. Curses! As Sogeg, in double rage, will just wield his Zeiston and thrust into this bastard man.
Okay.
Stab!
So that first one hit, it needs to make a Constitution saving throw, which it fails. So it's going to take 16, 25 points of damage.
Shing and be blinding smited.
And be blindingly smote.
You are now blinded.
Means he is blinded.
I will then wheel around with my great Zeiston, as I'm gonna poke the one that attacked Mr. Burbles. Only I get to spill blood. Yeah.
Okay, that also connects.
And I'm
14.
gonna throw a divine smite on it.
Okay.
Because why not? I'm feeling. Oh my god.
Oof, a mighty extra 2 damage.
Jesus.
Oof.
I just hide that one, didn't I? And I just hide behind my shield and hope you don't hurt me too bad.
Okay. Well, next is Skirts.
Okay. Okay, well, we're gonna use my bonus action to get one size even bigger.
You're going to actually be bigger than the giants.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
She
Size
cackles.
gargantuan Skirts.
It's a
Oh
thing
my god.
story.
And
Surely.
she'll leap past over here. Careful not to step on Neil.
He's so much smaller than you.
Does the granny stick get larger with Scuts, or is she
Yes.
just like holding a... Okay, cool. Otherwise, that was gonna be real,
It's like a toothpick.
real big, yeah. Logic flaw. So...
Does that mean like the
I
granny stick?
never cast Armor of Agathis. Every time I forget to do it before I rage. Alright, one day. I've only had it for months. And we will... I want to recklessly attack, but then I'll be at disadvantage. It'll get to attack at advantage. So we'll do... one attack.
Is
I
this
think
the
that's probably
one
gonna miss.
that hit
Oh my
the hit Mr. Burbles?
Yeah.
The first one connects, the second one does not.
Very, very quick, sorry, but the first ogre should have taken an additional 3 damage, second one should have taken 2 damage because of high woman.
Okay, so the first one takes additional how much?
3.
3, and the second one takes additional 2. Okay.
So might be.
Oh shoot, I forgot to put my modifiers on for the granny stick.
Yes, we need
Ugh.
that as well. Basically, an additional 1d10 damage. Actually, be is it not more than that? Because of the granny
It
stick.
should be +2 for the rage, and then I've got the 1d10 for the mountainous rage for mine, and then I don't
And
know
an
if Hype
extra-
Woman gives me an additional
an
one.
extra 1d10 from the hype woman, so it'd be an extra 2d10 plus 2.
So an extra
Okay,
14.
An extra 14.
That's okay. I thought 14 damage sounded a little low. Add another d10. That sounds a lot better.
Means you
I
hit him
picked
for
off next
4d10 plus 2. It's 4d10 plus 5 actually. So not 6 plus 6. It's scary.
Yeah. And that's my turn. That's everything.
Did both of those
Okay.
hit?
One of those hit. So the next one is let's have a look. Okay.
You're blind.
He is blind. He is just going to stumble in the direction that he got stabbed in.
Respect.
And let's have a look. Okay. So.
Oh god, it's about to hurt. Oh, I can feel it.
So disadvantage because of blind. So 1 against Sogeg. It's a 17. And in his blind fury, he ends up cracking his mate in the jaw as well.
I laugh derisively. I'm just like being really mean. Really, really mean.
Okay. Zolk.
Zork has a plan.
Oh no.
So, first one is we're going to take a good old shot at the middle one. I'm still measuring. There we go.
I'm about to
Okay.
die.
That does hit,
Oh, good.
which is surprising for the Astrophetes.
And then
Oh,
That doesn't hit any of us.
it doesn't hit anyone.
Well, it's more I don't want to run people over with the car with the bike.
That's
Oh,
fair.
God.
That is reasonable.
Or move me off the bike, and we're gonna run the bike
Because it is
here,
an action
and
to
then
drive it, yeah.
and can I turn it? Or is that a no?
If you're using your action to drive, then yeah, you can move as much as you want.
Okay, so we're going full
You can
speed
steer
into
it,
this
yeah.
one in the middle.
Okay, you're
Nice.
just going to go full on slam into it.
Trying to use the blades.
Okay, and what distance have you moved for that? 50. Okay, so. Crashing into creatures. It needs to make a dex save to try and get out of the way.
This isn't medium, is it? Oh fuck.
Yeah, it gets out of the way. So we're just going to say that that's a miss. Essentially, you drive right under its foot as it comes near. So you didn't fully crash into it. You just sort of you missed. So I'm not going to make you take back damage for that just yet.
There will be a follow-up attempt eventually.
You've still got the rest of your movement if you want to keep moving.
Oh, okay.
It's got 120 feet.
So that is...
You could like zoom like 3 sessions ahead of all of us. What the temple's like.
Go into the other one.
Okay. Yeah, you move around to the other one. The one that you slammed into is too preoccupied with trying to eat these new treats to actually be able to grab you as you zip on past. Is that everything?
Yep.
Okay. Well, next is this guy. Let's see what he does. Okay. He's gonna try and eat the nightmare vehicle. I think is what he's gonna do. Food coming to him. A 26 to hit.
At disadvantage.
It would be at disadvantage, yes.
Holy shit, I just read the bloody ability on bite.
A 17 is gonna miss.
That is a miss.
Okay, and we are back to Mr. Burbles.
God damn it, we're so close now. He can't use his matchstick claws. I mean, he can. I was gonna do his breath recharge, but am I doing it at the
That's at
beginning or
the
the end?
end of his turn, yeah.
Okay. So, Gang, you look healthy. He's just gonna matchstick claw this guy that just bit the crap out of him.
That's fair.
He just indignantly swipes at this guy. He just sat there. He took a nice big fart, and then this giant just comes over and starts like attacking the
Pummeling him,
crap out
yeah.
of him.
You need to actually click
Oops.
matchstick claws,
I-
yeah.
Didn't.
Okay, so the first one hits, doing 17 slashing and 8 fire. It's pretty good. And then the ignition of his claws will detonate the cloud of noxious fumes. Remind me again what the noxious fumes do.
The exhaust fumes are flammable and will explode when exposed to a spark. The explosion covers a 20-foot sphere centered on the exhaust fumes. Creatures caught in the explosion must make a DC 14 Dex save or take 4d8
Okay.
fire damage.
So, Skuts, for giant and Sogeg needs to make a dex save.
You knew I
That
was
is a fail for the giant.
Oh,
But you would have advantage on this because of danger sense. Okay. So it was 4d8 or 4d10?
4d8.
4d8. Go ahead and roll 4d8. So, is it half as much on a successful save, or?
Yeah.
So that would be 10 points of fire damage to Sogeg, 21 points of fire damage to the giant and to Scuds. Because you would halve that because you're resistant to fire. But the giant in the centre is just going to burst into flames and collapse in a heap.
And would Mr. Burbles also take 10 from me? Oh, but he's
immune to fire,
resistant to fire,
I
so that's
believe.
fine. Okay, yep. So we're good.
Okay. Any movement?
No, he's gonna stay put for now.
Okay. Bennett.
From behind his rock, where he's been
Which
quite
nobody's
comfortable.
noticed him yet.
He is gonna steady aim. He's gonna pop up steady aim at.
He'd already have advantage against this one as it's blind.
Okay, so he doesn't need to steady aim.
He doesn't
for
need
that?
to steady aim.
Right, he's going to not steady aim then. He's just gonna shoot at this one.
Okay.
Where's? I've got so many. So
Okay, that is a hit. 17.
and he will bonus action hide
Go ahead and make a stealth check.
back behind his little rock. That's
Yeah, 22.
not supposed to be an advantage, but
It's still a 22. Okay, Neil.
this one. And he is just gonna try and bite it.
Okay, you'd have advantage.
Hmm?
You'd have advantage because it's blinded.
Okay, and he's got 3 attacks.
That he does.
So 1, 2, 3.
Okay, he chows down.
And
because I
let's see.
didn't put a size limit on his grapple, it is grappled by Neil's tiny jaws.
Okay, we'll see whether he gets his spell back. He does.
Hey, he can spit. Next turn. Okay. Pogeg, you are face down in the sand.
Pogeg stands up and then looks onto the battlefield. I drop to my knees again as Pogeg will sort of quickly utter the words and do the Pogis symbol as seeing Scuts. Clearly, Pogis has sent down an avatar to smite enemies with the Great Brass Boot. As Pogis just going to bear witness.
He's just going to bear witness.
The big people.
That is fair.
Praise be to Pogis.
Nadrin.
I am going to think I am gonna just Eldritch Blast this one.
Okay, it is still covered in spit, so it's an advantage. Oh, consistent at least.
Ow!
The first one misses, but the second one connects.
That's kind of impressive that I rolled the
Yeah.
same number twice for the same roll. And take a couple steps forward, and that's it.
Okay. Zogeg.
Oh. Well, I've been hurt now, so I get advantage on attacks. So I'm going to be angry, I think. And I'm going to look at this one, and I'm
I
going
mean,
to say...
not against it, though. It's only against creatures that have hurt you.
Oh,
and
sorry,
that's
yeah,
Mr.
you're right,
Burbles.
right. That is true. Yeah, I'm going to attack Mr. Burbles. No. Instead, I will use a charge of Smite. And
What is
I'm
happening?
going to stab this creature.
You had advantage because you have blinded him.
Get smited, you fool. Wazam.
Okay, that hits. He needs to make a wisdom save.
D8.
That is a fail.
26 damage.
That is 26 damage.
Then, you know what he's going to do? I think I'm going to do it again. So
Okay.
very quickly mark off that I've used one of my charges. Right. And then I am going to back swing with the Zeiston Quia for another 35 damage.
As you stab through this one, it finally drops.
Ching.
Its exhausted body, trickling a very thick blood onto the ground. Nowhere near as much as you would expect for a creature this size.
I just breathe in the blood vapors. They taste good. I looked to the other one and just pointed it. And then we're done.
Okay. Scuds.
I really don't want to pull one of these guys out at a bad time.
Are you
so-
sure? He said Granny might be able to fix
Oh.
him.
I did.
Granny could make them bigger.
Granny could feed him. Come here, little guy. You look hungry. Oh my god, I've had a rest. Do I still have Beguiling Eye on? I don't think I changed anything. I'm gonna try to use my charge of Beguiling Eye then and cast Suggest
You
on him.
can't
as Guts
cast
will.
spells while
Oh,
you
no?
rage.
I can't. Does it count as casting a spell?
Yes.
Okay.
As it uses the words, you can cast suggestion.
Then okay. Then we have to do it the hard way. I mean, I tried. She'll go to grapple him.
Okay. Make an athletics check.
Come here, little guy. I guess he is smaller. As she tries to wrestle him.
He's wiggly. He's hard to get a hold of. You're not used to having to grab something that much smaller than you.
He just needs more convincing. Granny's got a bunch of tasty little snacks. Huh?
He's
Oh.
he's too preoccupied with food directly in front of him.
No, there's more snacks. Is there anything else I can... I think that's it. That was my 2 attacks.
You made the attempt, and you've made your intentions clear to everyone else. Zolk, we're on to you.
What could go wrong?
Always the best answer.
So, is the slicing wheels the only attack that the vehicle has?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to try and run through the giant that we're next to. Let's hope that doesn't kill him completely.
So you're going to back up essentially 60 feet and drive 60 feet into him?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see if he gets out the way. He does not.
Oh.
Let's see what this does. Okay. So technically slicing wheels can only be done on medium and smaller creatures, but
Sadly.
we'll do some stuff. So first of all, it will be go ahead and for each 10 feet the vehicle has moved since its last turn, so it would be 12.
12d6.
12d6.
Oh god.
$39 psychic damage. Okay. So it's going to take 39 psychic damage. I need both Zolk and the Nightmare Vehicle to make a strength saving throw, please.
So just roll it straight strength?
Straight strength, unless it's already got it as a saving throw. Which I don't think it does. No, it doesn't.
No. And then on my end, probably also a fail.
You know what? It's good that you made it psychic damage, as it is immune to psychic damage, so it's not actually going to take damage from this, but you will.
A 13 would help. I've got Flash of Genius.
13 would not, because you can read the rules as much as I'm reading the rules, so...
Alright, yeah. 15. Motherfucker.
That's 43 points of psychic damage as you get thrown off of the vehicle.
It's going well.
That puts me on 5.
It's also 43 points of psychic damage to the Nightmare Vehicle, but it's immune to psychic damage. So this is actually a good upgrade for specifically slamming into creatures, because it can't damage itself this way. It'll just damage you.
So I accidentally did the right thing. Got it.
It's also, I accidentally made it like that in the first place. I didn't realise that was what that would do, but hey, happy little accidents. Well done. You did more damage to yourself than the giant.
This is fine.
But I don't think that knocks you. The vehicle comes to a sudden stop, and each creature inside it. Yes, you don't get launched from the creature or from the vehicle because it still is in one piece. You just essentially, as it slams into the leg of this giant, the blades slam into it, but with the force you jolt forward and also get skewered by some of the blades.
Now I'm just checking what of these is actually a bonus action. Why the fuck got that? Okay. Fuck it, we'll just shoot it.
I'll say that you shot it while you were driving away from it, so that you're not at disadvantage. Well, you'd be at advantage because it's glowing. But you got a crit, so it doesn't matter.
This is fine.
For an extra 2d8, so that's 16, 27 points of damage. Yeah, that did almost as much as slamming into it.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's me.
Okay, it is its turn. And what is it going to do in its desperation? Okay, it is going to start out by... Well, it's a disadvantage because Zulk's nearby. Trying to punch the vehicle. 14 is going to miss. It's going to try and punch Zulk. An 18.
Where's the button?
Are
Go
you gonna be a
again.
nuisance to it? Okay. Just take the first roll as well. So 28.
Well, I can't cast shield for that.
I mean, you could.
We'll still take the 21 bludgeoning damage.
It's all down.
It just uppercut Zulk. And then
Salt would go down, but he doesn't.
no, he doesn't. He stays at 1 because it's Zulk.
Oh god.
And then it's going to punch
Nice.
punch Scuds for 15.
Embarrassing to be Miss Scuts at this point.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty big. So I would half that to 7.
You'd half that to 7, and it's going to take 5 fire damage.
5. Yep.
Okay.
As her fieriness.
Fire blood. It is the Burblmeister.
Sitting his ass down. Way too late in the game. He will use his action to give Skuts, Zulk, and Sogeg
Okay.
bonded.
So Scud, Zulk, and Soke get blessed, essentially, so long as you stay within 30 feet of Mr. Burbles. Which means that Zulk, you can't ram again, because as soon as you move away, you're going to lose your bless.
Okay.
Bennett.
Bennett is gonna his bow
Will be
should be
at
at
advantage. Yep.
because of. So he does get the sneak attack.
This is why
Okay.
I limited Neil's spit.
This is the crit. It's got to be.
I mean, that's why
Why
it's
is it-
adding all the bonuses to it. God damn it.
Hey-oh.
Okay.
Hey.
I think
Are
it's
these
dead.
already sorted? No, it's not. So
Oh.
that is 12, 24, 33, 39, 48 points of damage. As you guess it, you shoot it right between the eyes and it collapses in a heap of loose skin and desperation.
The
Well done.
heroes.
You did it. You killed the hungry giants. You feel
They'll
good
be
about
hungry
yourselves.
anymore. They're not hungry anymore.
They're not hungry anymore. They're dead.
Should we eat them in like?
As
Oh,
they
do that.
fall to the sand, you can see what little blood is coming out of them sort of immediately congeal and turn ashy, almost like it's drying out the moment it touches the air.
Ugh.
I imagine everyone's going to stop raging and concentrating on being embiggened. Unless there's something you want to do while you're big.
I'd like to just use the most of my bless. I'm gonna cheer Bennett charismatically. Come on, Bennett, you did it. Yay.
I mean,
Oh, Bennett, you're the best!
you'd probably be struggling to find him because not only is he super stealthy,
somewhere.
but he doesn't reveal his position when he hits somebody with a ranged attack.
I cheer the air.
As Scott surveys around looking for Bennett as she's beginning to shrink back down, does she see anything in the area of interest?
Make a perception check.
Bennett! Bennett! Man, he's so stealthy.
Uh,
I'm not looking for Bennett. I'm just looking
You
around.
notice. So the creatures that these giants were snacking on hasn't really been dead for all that long to have been stripped this far down to the bone. The giants having to go to the point of actually eating the bone itself. And you can't fully tell if it's the wind passing by. You swear you see some of the bones twitch.
I'm gonna walk up to the bones. Do bones move?
Sometimes.
She's just gonna like step over it and continue this way. Mr. Burbles will nibble on a hip bone. Unless anybody wants to stop him.
He deserved it after that.
Nibble on the dragon.
Yeah, he's gonna try to bite onto the hip bone and try to tug at it like tug of war style.
He's nibbling away. It's not the tastiest thing in the world. Give me a strength check from Mr. Burbles.
He wants it.
He wants it. He's pulling. He can almost feel it pull back on him, but he's not giving up as he dislodges a big chunk of the hip bone from the rest of the body. The pelvis comes free.
He'll happily trot along with it. More dragging it with him, but he'll start to follow Scuts this way. Bennett!
Anyone else investigating anything?
Have a look at his head. There's always good stuff in the skulls of dragons. I'd like put my head inside of its jaw and have a good look.
Make a perception or investigation check.
I pull out my investigative monocle.
You have a poke around the inside of this dragon's mouth. It doesn't seem to be like chewing on anything valuable when it died. Most of its fangs are still there as you root around. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh no. Yeah.
Whisper this one. Okay. A 28 will hit. As you take 15 piercing damage and 10 lightning.
Holy shit.
As the jaws bite back. As
You
the
little
bones continue to twitch and try and pull themselves together. With the amount of missing pieces, it is definitely not able to reform properly. But it is definitely pulling itself back together.
Okay, let's peace out. I gently remove my head from inside of its jaw as I resist the urge to compel duel it, I'll be honest.
I tell you what, we will put a pause there for today. I'll just move everyone's token so that people aren't underneath other people.
That'd be amazing for the granny bag.
I'll tell you now, I wasn't fully expecting to pull this one out. And then realised the lore I've made for this place, and I knew I kind of needed to. I didn't realise that until in the middle of that fight. So I actually kind of do need to.
Nothing can truly die.
Because, yeah, anything that quote-unquote dies in this desert doesn't stay dead. So look forward to seeing those giants again soon.
Run away!
So let's do the end of session wrap up then, and put a pause there. So first of all, piety points. You get a point of piety for playing. Did you complete your minor divine agendas? I didn't change them from last week because I've kept them fairly generic until we get to like moments where you'd need more detailed ones. I'm going to say a no for Zolk. I'm going to say a yes for Bennett, which is impressive because you don't have access to his agenda, but you still managed to do it.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was.
It was just use your skills to help your friends survive the desert. So him hiding and helping everyone, yeah, pretty much. That's going to be a no for Scuds. You didn't manage to steal anybody. I'm going to say a yes for Sogeg.
Yay.
And I'm going to say a yes for Nadrin. Did you perform a ritual sacrifice or great action in the name of your god? I'm going to give a point to Nadrin for at least trying to bring some water to those that desperately needed it. I'm also going to give a point to Sogeg for returning the blood to the body of the orc.
Thanks, Pogeg.
Did you act in a way that exemplifies the ideals of your patron god? I'll give a point to everybody for that one. Story points. You get a point for playing. Did you overcome a great challenge using violent or non-violent means? You're in the middle of that one. We'll see. Did you make a significant discovery or unearth some lost history? Yeah, you learned about the truth of the sand vampires.
Yeah. The true evil.
That you also learned a little bit of what was going on with Phoberos, the concept that this desert seems to drain the moisture out of everything, leaving it just a husk, and then the soul can't even go to the underworld, so it stays there, so everything just keeps coming back. Did you perform an act worthy of a new epithet?
not to brag, but I'm the only person who took damage from something that's literally dead and inanimate. Pretty important, pretty big.
I mean, you were also sticking your hand in its mouth.
I'm resurrector of great dragons. You've never resurrected such a great beast.
Fair. I think is I know I mentioned that I needed to note some stuff down, but
It was about Mr.
Mr.
Burbles
Burbles
getting a
based on what he
hurt-
eats. So yeah, I will give
Yeah.
a point to Mr. Burbles essentially. So he doesn't get any story points in that sense, but I will make a Mr. Burbles his diet.
I've been trying to feed him different things. He's traveling the world with Scuts. They're just tasting everything. It just might not agree with his gut fully.
I almost want to give a curse one to Scuds for finding the second very obvious magical plot relevant item and just being like, hey, cool, it's a stone that says its own name. Let's just keep this.
Found it. I just don't know
Or
what to do
to
with it.
return the gym cursed epithet to Soulcake.
That's a fate worse than death.
Okay, so we'll go on to loyalty points now for Pogeg, Mr. Burbles, and Neil. They get a point of loyalty for playing. You get a point for fighting together. Did you sacrifice something for the good of your companion? I'm gonna say no. Did your companion perform an incredible action? I will give a point to Mr. Burbles for taking a crit punch to the face and not really caring. He's a tanky boy.
He just spit on the ground and said, "Vermogus," before he just started fury swiping at him.
Okay, so that's where we will leave it for this week. Thanks everyone for playing. Thank you everyone for watching, whether you watched us live on Scotchbutts' Twitch, or whether you watched the VODs over on the Satyr Atlas YouTube channel. We will be back next week to see how this party of Chaos Gremlins deal with definitely not a Dracolich. I did say it is missing some pieces. It's not full strength. I mean, especially after Mr. Burbles managed to steal its hip bone, or its pelvis, essentially. And the giants were also chewing on it, so it has got a lot of broken bones. But we'll see how it goes. So, and with that, Scots, is there anything more we need to add?
Yeah, I dropped the links over in the chat there. If you want to check out the previous VODs of our games, we can catch up on Atlas's YouTube channel there. And we've got some
check out the
sweet
merch.
Theros mugs. Yeah.
I currently
mat
have the
might have been
play
too
mat
huge.
for everything. It's great. It's a full desk mat. It is huge though. Big apple.
I took it down till I can figure out the resolution for it. But the mug and the shirt
Mug is
look pretty
nice.
good. So with that, we'll catch you next week for more shenanigans, and I'll be live tomorrow playing the Pokemon Nuzlocke. So if you want to see the Pokemon fight for the glory of Mogus, join into that. Until then, take care, have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.